Hey guys, welcome to Tickzon Mentorship Scheme, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. Ugo here, welcome to the video, and today we are talking about a fundamental. A serious fundamental. We're talking about a fundamental of financial literacy, a fundamental of economics, a fundamental of business, a fundamental of family planning, life planning, getting your life together, and just overall organization of your life in a holistic manner. You know, whether you're looking to have kids, whether you're looking to get married, whether you're looking to do whatever in your life, this comes into play. And this will never be something that will hinder you. Now, there's a popular saying that you don't plan to fail, but you just fail to plan. Now, today we're talking about a different kind of plan, and this plan is called budgeting. Now, everyone's got one. If you're a business that doesn't have a budget, you don't make sense. If you're a country that doesn't have a budget, then you don't make sense. I'm Nigerian. I don't know what the budget is, but they're clearly not going on the budget. No Nigeria slander. But, there's another popular saying, nothing measured, nothing managed. If you don't know where your money is going to, and you can't really say with affirmity how you spent this money, then you're right now at this point in time, you don't know how your budget is. Now, the truth of the matter is, everybody has a budget. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you have a budget. And the question is, are you in the control of that budget, or is that budget in control of you? Because if you actually look, we all have spending habits that we don't know about. The first step to understanding your budget, if you want to understand your spending habits and where your money's been going to, I normally tell people, go back to your last 3 statements about how you spent your money, and just go through it. Go through your credit card statements, go through all of them. You can go on an Excel sheet and kind of total it up and see where everything went into. Or if you have like stuff like Monzo or these different apps, they can categorize where your money's been going to. And at the end of each month, you can kind of see, okay, this is what happened. Even you can go a step further. You can take the last 3 months and then compare it with the 3 months prior to lockdown and see, did your spending go up more that you were at home or less? Because for some people, lockdown was a time to save a lot of money. For some people, it was a time to even double down on spending money because of how they want to spend their time being bored, and it was all understandable. But it's about understanding yourself. Now, when you're creating a budget, there's normally people go down to 3 main things. They say needs, wants, and savings. I put down that to 5 things actually. There's needs, wants, savings, investments, and debt. Now, you can have 0 debt, you can have 0 savings, you can have 0 in all these things depending on your sex status. If you're living at home, you might not have any needs in terms of the money that when we say needs, it's fundamental money you need to put down to live. Rent, utility bills, and food. Wants is anything else. Savings is just savings. Savings can be an investment, but it's a low investment. Like, the interest rates are really trash. So there's a difference between savings. In that regard, I look at that as kind of cash at hand, etc. You can consider your investments as savings, but we look at that differently. And debt, in terms of credit cards, even if you're using it monthly, unless you're paying it off at the end of the month, in which your money from once is going straight there, that is a debt. It's really a debt, unless you know how to use it. But at the same time, in this debt scale, there's good debt and there's bad debt. So fundamentally, when you come to budgeting, you want to divide up your money to make it all make sense. In the description, we've left a WeTransfer link to a budgeting tool that I made. I put a lot of time into it, in which it can help you in terms of actually coming to track your money, coming to create a budgeting method and way to go. Now, fundamentally, everyone recommends the 50-30-20 rule, in which 50% of your money goes to needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings. Now, this is just a guide. You don't have to reach the maximum. You can reduce. Like, I would like to see your savings go up. Now, for me, if you go into the tool, there's different ones. We got 40, 30, 20, you got 10 as well. 40, 30, 20, 10 with no debt. That is 40 in needs, 30 on wants, 20 in savings, 10 in investments. You can switch those around how you want, but how you allocate a budget is very important. Now, honestly, if you go back 1 month, just see how you spent your money. See where it went. Or for like a month, track where your money is going to. Now, for me personally, I track majority of where my money goes. Before my money comes at the end of the month, I've already planned where that money is coming to. In fact, I've planned a couple of months of where all the money is going to. The first thing you should always prioritize on your payment, on your budgeting, is your savings, because that's the concept of paying yourself first. So paying yourself first is a concept in which the first money that leaves your account is you paying you. Because whenever you pay your bills first, you're paying somebody else. If you go to tickzon.co.uk and you go and see my beads and stuff like that, you're paying me first before you paid yourself. No, your savings should be the first thing you pay. And then after that, you go and pay the minimum payments of all your debts. Then you go and sort out all the needs that you have to do in terms of, rent, etc., all that kind of stuff. And then we allocate some, want money to enjoy because you need a holistic life. And then you now go and top up on all those ones you did minimum payments to, and make sure you can see if you can reduce those debts via the debt avalanche or debt snowball method, in which we will talk about in a future day. And then once you do this, you can bring that all together. Now, to take budgeting to a new level, because people like to budget on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. No. You want to have a short-term but long-term budgeting. You want to buy a house. Come on, guys, let's be honest. You want to go on holiday. Come on, guys, let's be honest. You want to go on a date. Come on, guys, let's be honest. Why I mean, let's be honest. You can't just this paycheck come out today and then automatically you're now struggling because you want half of this paycheck to go there. You didn't plan for it. Now that the girl wants to go to mark up your white, you're looking at bank, you were saying, yeah, I can go. But you look at the bank account was like, no. Plan. I remember there's a YouTuber, I've forgotten his name. I remember he has a dating budget about how much money he's going to actually outlay there. But what I mean by short term and long term, so for example, yes, in the future I'm going to buy a house. Am I already working to that? Maybe. But watch out for the property episode coming out soon. But on a monthly basis, you allocate a small amount of money towards that saving, whether it's a long-term goal, and to multiple savings. So holiday, investments, paying somebody back, debts, etc. You allocate the money to make it make sense, and then you will see what the extra you have to do, as opposed to go spend all the money and then remember you have things to do, you have plans to go. If you want to buy a house in 2 years' time and you haven't started saving now, you're not buying the house in 2 years' time. If somebody's told me, oh Ugo, I want to buy a house next year, do you have any savings? No, you're not buying the house. Because even if you try to now go and buy the house, you are about to drastically change the way you spend money and your lifestyle in a way that you don't understand. You have to go from just spending 90% of your money to spending 50% of your money or 40% of your money and saving 60%. That is a drastic change that you didn't budget for. You will start struggling. You'll be telling people, no, I can't come to the motive. Why? Well, you won't answer because now you're feeling some type of way. Put the budget into it. So look, if you save £1 a day, you have £365 at the end of the year. You save £20 a week, you have you save £20 a month, you have £240 at the end of the year. You save £20 a week, you have £1,040 at the end of the year. This is long-term thinking with small-term things. In the short term, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that great. It's like, £20, blah, blah, blah. But it starts progressively getting better. And it's all about consistency and planning and getting there. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, a budget. You get the budgeting tool. There's a link to the video of how to use it. I'm not going to explain that here. But even when you look at the budget, whenever you have a budget and you now allocate where all the money is going to, you have the play money and stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes you have to dip into your savings. Go back and re-audit yourself. Audit yourself as regularly as you possible. Not, to be honest, once a month should be enough. Don't do anything more. If you're getting paid weekly, then you need to start thinking out how you can stretch this money to make it long term. Just because you get paid weekly doesn't mean you should spend it weekly. And last but not least, when you have a budget and you've allocated money to something, it is okay to say, I cannot afford this. I cannot afford this. I do not have money for this. It doesn't mean you're broke. Whenever I tell you, I don't have money for this, it means that there's no money in the budget allocated for the certain thing that you want or you're asking me to do. Or I might have to rejig my budget to make that happen. And it's okay if it cannot happen. Fear of missing out, that's your own personal thing to deal with, because sometimes impulse, we want to be there and stuff like that. And to be honest, sometimes maybe you need to rejig your thing, because go on, enjoyment, you only live once. You only die once too. But similarly, you want to make your life a bit more fruitful. So when you have a budget, the first thing, you make your budget holistic to yourself. Don't just come over here and be like, oh, Ugo's telling me about budgeting. Budgeting is good, blah, blah, blah. Nothing measured, nothing managed. I don't plan to fail. I failed to plan. I'm coming here to change the world. And then you go numbing your own spending habit. You've looked at your last 3 months of your statement, you've seen your spending habit, you know you like too much coffee, and you go from 0 to 100 and say you're going to cut out coffee completely. Don't set yourself up for failure. If you know that you can go cold turkey, go cold turkey. If you cut out these things, maybe cut out these things progressively. There's like a progressive budgeting. Each month you increase your savings by 5%. Each month you reduce your spending by 2%. Each month you do that and slowly creep up. Because some people, what happens is they try to go and create a budget that's unrealistic for who they are. And now they're struggling because now they've gone back, they revert back to it because they feel that they've put themselves in a prison, and it's like, oh no, I'm buying all this cheap stuff, I'm not going out, I'm not doing all these things, and before you know it, they explode. And they're gonna start spending money. Me, I cook a lot of all these things, but I did the same thing. While I was in uni, those days I was cooking, and then some days I'm like, oh, I've saved so much money, and then do you know what happened? Nando's, Five Guys, Chinese, Indian, oh, curry, oh, Korean, all this, all that. Before you know it, like, you're broke. You know when you're looking at the statement, it's like, you're broke, Ugo. It's looking like a sticky one still. So what we're trying to say here, budget. Measure what's happening, audit yourself, and create a plan that works for yourself. Make the plan holistic, that is, it is making sense. Try to reduce your needs and wants as much as possible. Increase your savings because you want to save your money so one day your money saves you. Increase your investments because ultimately that's the only real way you're actually going to become wealthy. You're not going to become wealthy just by saving, to buy investments as well as that, and make it make sense. So if you have goals in the future, you want to own property, you want to have a house, you want to do all these things, even if you're going into uni now and you say you want to have that a year after uni, well, my friend, you better start saving now. And yeah, sure, you may be only be able to save £10. Listen, somebody who can be able to save, who only makes £10 a month and can save £1 every month is better than somebody who makes 2,000 and can't even save up to £5. It's already better, and I know who I'll trust to give more money to. So if you can do well with small, you can do well with big. Most times your spending habits don't change, or your handling of money doesn't get better with the more money you have. It's actually the opposite. So let's be guided, guys. Hopefully this helps. Budgeting is important. It's important, man. And I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope life's treating you well. Welcome to the month of September. If I put this out in September, I think I'm putting this out in September. Maybe I've got the cornrows too tight. Take care, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a blessed day. God bless you. Love.